In this video, you'll learn how to add and maintain an employee in Sunlight. Let's start off by going to the Maintenance menu, and then click on Employees. To add a new employee, click on the Add button. The status bar at the bottom left of the screen will display a message that a new employee has been added. Also notice that the change date time and create date time is updated to the current date. In the future, the change date time will update whenever a change is made. When a new employee is created, they are given default values based on your company. This employee is Brian A. Hartman, and his username is B. Hartman, so let's update his name information. Let's change Brian's title to Manager. When a title is selected, the hourly rate is updated to show the rate that is assigned to the title. You can also add and edit titles on the title maintenance page. Brian's home group will be Brilliant Idea Software. We can assign Brian to more groups later using the Resource Group tab. Next, we'll update Brian's address. The default address is copied from Brilliant Idea Software's headquarters, so we'll change this to Brian's office address. There is room for 5 different instant messaging addresses. Brian only has a Microsoft and AOL address, so we'll change those too. On the right side of the page is the active checkbox, which is used to indicate whether an employee is currently active or not. Underneath is the Show in Calendar checkbox, which controls if Brian will be visible as a resource on the calendar. In Brian's case, we'll accept the defaults. The hourly rate will reflect the rate from the title that is given to Brian. The user role for an employee is initially set to Employee. If an employee should have more permissions and access within the program, then you can set the role to an administrator or group admin. But for Brian, we'll keep it set to Employee. The email address should be set to the primary email used to contact the employee. In Brian's case, this will be his Brilliant Idea Software email address. The web address will stay the same, but the phone numbers will be changed to Brian's office, mobile, and home phone, and his fax number. The Notes box can contain any notes that relate to Brian, and the Zoom button can be used to view a larger notes box, so let's click on that. Here we'll add a note for Brian, no time restrictions, and click OK. Let's save the changes made to Brian and go back and view the other features on this page. Next to the username box is a button that is used to set and reset an employee's password. A password must be given for the user to log in, and if the user forgets their password or becomes locked out, this is where the password can be reset. The map icon next to the city allows you to open an internet browser with a map of the employee's address. Sunlight uses Bing Maps by default, but you can switch the map type to Yahoo or Google if you choose to. Next to the email box is a link to send an email to the employee. This opens a new message in your default email program that is addressed to the employee. Next to the web address is a link that will open the web address in your browser. The button at the top right corner of the page will send the employee detail to a report, which can then be saved or printed. A convenient feature of Sunlight is the ability to import and export contacts with Microsoft Outlook. The icon next to the email link button allows you to save the current employee's contact information as an Outlook VCF card. I'll click on the icon and you can see Outlook opens up with Brian's information. If you have an Outlook contact you wish to import into Sunlight, you can do that as well. Let's search for Larry Miller and save his contact information to a vCard file by going to Save As and Export to vCard File. All you have to do is open the folder where the .vcf file is saved, and click and drag the file onto the employee box near the top of the page, like this. And now Larry has been added as an employee. There are a few things specific to Sunlight that will need to be changed, such as the home group and major metro area. Let's save the changes to Larry and take a look at an employee who has been in the system for a while, Howard Johnson. Now we'll move on to the Documents tab. This page allows us to manage documents that belong to the selected employee. At the bottom of the page is the Upload box. Just drag any document onto the box and click Upload to attach the document to the employee. At the top of the page is the Document box. This box will show you all the documents that belong to the current employee. Howard doesn't have any documents yet, so let's add one. Here's a copy of Howard's resume. Let's drag and drop it over the Upload box. Now the document is ready to be uploaded, so let's click the Upload button. Now you can see that Howard has a document. Some basic information of the document is available, and you can also download or delete the document too. We'll add a short description to the document and save the changes. Now we'll take a look at the Codes tab. The purpose of the Codes tab is to make it easier to integrate Sunlight with other business applications. For Howard, we'll add a 6-digit number for one of his codes. This number is used by a billing system application. Instead of clicking the Save button, let's go ahead and click on the next tab, the Approvals tab. You can see a message has popped up, asking if we want to save the changes we've made on the Codes tab. This feature is a great backup just in case you forget to save any changes you've made. Let's click Yes and continue. The Approvals tab allows you to set the employee who is in charge of approving time cards and expense reports for the employee that is currently selected. For Howard Johnson, Judy Champion approves both his time cards and expense reports. The Skills tab allows you to assign skills to the current employee. The box on the right displays Howard's skills, and the box on the left holds all the potential skills for an employee. We'll select VB.NET Programming and add that to Howard's selected skills, and we'll change his rank from beginner to average. You can change selected skills as well. Since Howard has become more experienced with SharePoint, we'll change his rank from learning to average. Also, a notes box is available if you need to add notes regarding an employee's selected skills. Let's click Save and move on to the Resource Group tab. A resource group helps you classify and organize your employees, and this page allows us to add and remove resource groups from the selected employee. Since Howard Johnson lives in Connecticut, we will assign him to the Northeast Consulting Resource Group. Finally, the Relationships tab allows you to view all the projects, expense reports, and time cards that relate to the selected employee. For all three of these boxes, you can double-click on an item to view more details. Here we can see the Business Intelligence implementation project that Howard is assigned to. To go back to the employee page, all you have to do is click the back button on your browser. And that's the basics of how to add and maintain an employee in Sunlight.